Photography means painting with light, which means light is very important. I would argue that light is the most important element in photography. So, let there be light. Welcome to Pixel Village, and I'm Radhakrishanan. A lot of us, including me, have watched scores and scores of behind-the-scenes videos of big photographers doing their work. Besides wanting to know how he works, our real intention is to know the kind of lighting equipments that he is using, where he is placing his light, what light he is using, what light shaping tools he has used in getting a particular shot. And more often than not, at the end of the video, we get a little dejected because we cannot really afford most of these equipments that he has, because he's a rich man and he has the best available products in the world. And we end up watching the video dejected, thinking that, look, I don't have that light and I can't do this shot. Not so. Allow me to introduce you to one such product which has been gaining popularity among photographers who are working on budgets. I'm talking about this, the Godox range of flashes. And this one, what we have today, is the upgrade called the AD600 Pro. Let's unbox it. Well, in Pixel Village, when we look at a product, we look at a product and recommend it on the basis of its build quality, the features, and the value for money. And it's only appropriate that we compare this model with the previous one, which is just AD600. This one is AD600 Pro. So what we're going to do is to put this side by side so that you can actually see the difference alongside. So let's set it that way. So here they are. This is the AD600 Pro and this is the earlier version, the AD600. In terms of size, both are very similar in size. This looks a tad longer because of the reflector and the cap. Well, let's power it up here. The earlier version, the on-off switch is in the front panel, and here the on-off switch is here. So keep it pressed and it comes on. The first noticeable upgrade to me is the mount and the handle. Okay, when we bought the AD600, that's the one which I really did not appreciate. This was not metal. If I loosen the handle, it'll make a clunky movement and stays in certain stops. If I want it in between, it wouldn't stay. Whereas in the new one, this part is redesigned. It's much smaller and it's made of metal. If I loosen my handle, I can move it much more easily and smoothly. Let me switch this off. Let me switch this guy off. Let me turn this around. Let me turn this guy around. Like I said earlier, this one has a rather clumsy protective cap, and this one has a very well designed cap, which along with the newly designed reflector. So to see that, I need to turn this towards you, and let me pull out the cap first. This one comes out. Here you need to rotate and pull the cap out, very solidly made, as against delicate cap. This one is very well made. This is going to last a long time. The other one is the integrated. It's not really integrated, but it looks like it is integrated, the reflector. Okay. When I take this out, you will see a completely redesigned flash head. This has got a better heat sink. It's got a much better protective cover and a frosted front, which means the hot spots will be reduced in a big way. And this new reflector is supposed to give you a little additional output because of its revised new design. So let me put it in and turn it and locks it in place. Well, that's about the front side. Let us now see the rear of the flash. The AD600, the previous version, had an 11.1 volt 8700 milliampere battery, whereas the new one has a 28.8 volt 2.6 ampere hour battery. Going to the top of the flash unit itself. Okay, this is the battery. The battery charging port, battery strength indicator, again strength indicator. It's got this is for the slave, light sensor, and this is the wireless control port, which is identical on the earlier one and the Pro. Both have a similar control, and it also has a USB port for firmware upgrade and a flash sync cord terminal. So pretty much very similar. The top side looks very similar, and let's go to the other side. All right. Well, as I told you, this guy's got a more powerful battery. Obviously, this is going to generate a little more heat than this one has. So this has a smaller heat ventilation, and this one has a much larger ventilation to dissipate the heat. Before we actually start shooting with this, let me tell you, they offer high-speed sync, one, and they also offer very short flash duration at certain power settings, besides offering wonderful color stability and constant power output. So that's what we're going to put to test first. So over to our setting. By no means this is a lab setting, okay, but we have tried to create something very, very dependable. We have a Seaconic spectrometer C700, which is a color meter. This one is the Seaconic Speedmaster, the L858D. So the Spectromaster will read the color accuracy, and the Seaconic Speedmaster will read the flash output accuracy. Now, coming to the flash, the menu settings are very simple. If you know the AD600, you know the 600 Pro. By pressing the mode button, you can toggle between multi, TTL, manual modes. I'm going to keep it at manual, and by using this rotary wheel, you can change the power from 1/1, that is full power, to 1/256th of the power. You have a high-speed sync, which is an important function of the flash these days. Press it once to activate the high-speed sync. You have the wireless, you have the groups, and the modeling lamp. So let me go to a higher power. Okay, you see this speaker symbol, that's the beep symbol. Keep it on, you will hear the beep when the flash is ready. Okay, now AD600 Pro is supposed to recycle much faster. Let me fire it together. Okay, so this definitely is slower in full power, but once we come to 1/4, recycling becomes very fast. So up till 1/4, the AD600 Pro has an edge in terms of recycling power. After 1/4, they both recycles at same speed. So now you understood how the flash works here, and how to control each flash power. What we're going to try and do, we're going to keep it at same distance and fire towards our setup, and we're going to see how stable each flash is. We're going to start with the earlier version, the AD600, and at full power. Let's get into the action, and we're going to fire it at 1/1, which is the full power. Okay, so here it goes. Let me reset. Okay, 16.7, 5,600, 16.7, 5,600, 16.7, 5,600, 16.7, 5,600. So pretty much very constant power output and color temperature. One more thing I'd like to bring to your attention is white balance is not entirely a guarantee for great color. You need to also worry about something called color rendering index. Okay, so color rendering index, anything on the higher side of 95 seems to be very good. Some say it's 93, but this flash seems to be giving us 97.7 as CRI value, which means this can render color very well. The variations in color temperature is plus 100. It's about plus 130. And yeah, so well within the range that the brand claimed. They say plus minus 200, but it's well within plus 100. Now, if you're shooting in RAW, that white balance shift will not matter because you'll be able to color correct it if you use the right kind of tools. But CRI will make your life easier to get the colors right. So we have pretty steady output and pretty steady color accuracy. Let's repeat the same exercise with the Pro, the updated model. So give me a second. Now I have the AD600 Pro. Mind you, I have the redesigned reflector on the 600 Pro, which is supposed to give you a higher output. So let's see what happens. Okay, 11.5, 11.4, 11.4. Contrary to the claim that this gives you a slightly higher power, it's actually lost a stop. And in terms of white balance and the color temperature, it is 5,400, which is about 100K lower than our target, which is 5,500. But like I said, it's manageable. 97.8 are much better color accuracy in comparison to the 600. It's a small fraction, but however, it's better than the AD600. Okay, 97.4, 97.5, 97.8. So there are these small variations. Output seems to be constant and stable. Let me change to half power now. Okay, 1/2, and let's see what happens. Okay, power as expected, power has come down to 8.06 and 5,400. There is no major change in the color temperature, and well, the CRI value has gone up to 98.5, which is a good news for the photographer. 98.4, 5,400 and 8.6. Now let me go to the smallest setting, which is, let's say, 1/128th of a second. It probably will not have sufficient power to trigger this, so which means I need to come closer. So let me go closer. So the reading again, 2.8, slightly over 2.8, 2.83, 2.83, very stable power output, and it's 5,700. Now it is cooling down, 5,700, so it's gone plus 200. But the CRI value is now almost 99. So to me, the color temperature is manageable. Since you have a great CRI value, you're going to reproduce colors very accurately, and you have a stable power output. These qualities make a great flash. We actually saw both the products side by side. We saw the features and we saw the technical details about the flash, and what is left? Let's get into a shoot now. Let me introduce Aishwarya. We're really happy to have Aishwarya here today, and she's not just a model, she's also a Limca record holder in, you know what it's for? For belly dancing. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. We're not going to get her to do belly dancing today. Anyway, jokes apart. What we're trying to attempt is she's going to, as you know, she's a dancer, she can move very fast, and you know, we're going to take some action shots today using this light at various settings. Lower the power output, faster the recycling time, which means at 1/256th, you will get fantastic recycling, and as you increase the power, the flash will start slowing down. But still, this flash is considerably faster than the AD600, which I think is one major selling point of this particular model. Another feature of this upgraded model, which is worth mentioning, is the modeling lamp. The earlier model had a 10-watt modeling lamp which was doing nothing in a studio environment. So this has a probably 3 to 4 times more powerful modeling lamp inside. We can adjust the power of the modeling lamp in 2 ways. One is manually changing to a power setting that you like, or it will also work in proportionate mode in relation to the flash output. Sorry, before I forget, I'm using an X Pro, the new TTL trigger. And on the AD600 Pro, I've used parabolic softbox, the P90L. Okay, so let's start shooting. Yeah. Okay, before we actually start the shoot, in fact, any shoot, we must definitely do a white balance correction, for which we should shoot a gray card, and also shoot a color chart, for which we use X-Rite color checker passport. Nice. Your hair slightly back, okay, and jump at 3, all right? Okay, 1, 2, and action. Okay, 1, 2, action. Okay, can you shift a little to your left? Ready? Shall we do it one more time? And action. That's a nice one. Okay, do that again, please. And action. One more time. Can you try and stay a little longer if it's possible? Ready? Okay, and action. Okay. Look at the details in the hair and the skin tone accuracy. The shoot is done. We will go out and check out the high-speed sync capability of this flash, which is one of the main feature of this particular battery-operated flash. High-speed sync means you can sync at speeds which are higher than the standard flash sync speed of your camera. In this case, the maximum sync speed of this camera is 1/250th of a second. But if I shoot this outdoor situation at 1/250th of a second at the aperture that I want to shoot at, is going to overexpose the background by something like probably 3-4 stops, which will be like, what? Let's take a shot and see how it's going to happen. Okay, ready? Action. So I have one shot. We shot it in the regular 250 standard sync speed mode in TTL. Now what this flash does is it gives you a high-speed sync option. So if I activate the high-speed sync option, then I can take a reading at aperture priority mode, and now I'm taking this shot in matrix metering, which means it's going to take even the outdoors into consideration, and I'm going to take the shot. Only thing is, at this mode, it won't give you that many, quick flashes. You have to time your shot, take the shot. Okay, ready? And 1, 2, 3, action. Okay, nice. One more time. 1, 2, 3, action. Okay, ready. Once again, great detail and great skin tone. I think what Godox managed to achieve is an amazing value for money product, because these products are on the lower side of 50,000 Indian rupees, which is 50,000 Indian rupees is like a psychological barrier for many who sets out to buy a product like this. A decent camera mounted flash these days can cost upwards of 35,000 rupees, and this is well within the strike range of somebody who wants to buy a camera mounted flash. And the kind of flexibility this offers, the Speedlight may not. Yes, of course, Speedlight has its own space and these kind of lights have its own space. But anyone who's trying to up his game, a wedding photographer, a budding fashion photographer, someone who shoots a lot for, let's say, e-com products, all will immensely benefit from a product like this because it offers stability, consistency at a very affordable price. If at all, if I have to put my finger on one disadvantage for this flash, it's going to be the maximum number of flashes a full charged battery gives out. It's about 200 flashes less than the AD600, which I think can be a problem at times, but you don't really work in full power most of the time. So, unlike what I said in the beginning, you don't have to really get dejected by watching all these pros shooting great images using their expensive equipments. We found something which can match that quality and capability. So, what is stopping you from getting one and going out and taking those great pictures and not missing a shot? One word of caution, make sure whatever you buy has this hologram on it. Bye for now.